my assessment of the UP, Upper Peninsula. So I got crippled by fear. My goal of the whole trip was to boondock, and I got to the Upper Peninsula, and it was really difficult to boondock the way I wanted to boondock, where, like, when you go to campsites, they're always in beautiful places. Well, not always, but they're usually in beautiful places. But when you boondock, you know it's what's there. It's not always beautiful, but I wanted beautiful for free. Anyway, but I was determined to solve this boondocking thing and try it and understand it and be good at it. The next 3 stops in the Upper Peninsula were at campsites. The first one was Soldier Lake. It was really nice. I had a spot right on the lake. I took the kayak out. Sammy got to go kayaking for the first time. There was another girl on the lake and she was kayaking, so she took my cell and took pictures of us kayaking. And my kayak has a slow leak. It has a slow leak in the seat. Like the seats are like separate pieces that you blow up and they Velcro into the kayak. So the seats have a hole in them because they deflate instantly. And I think there's a deflation. Okay, you're getting put down. He's squiggling, squirming. I think there's a deflatation in the bottom of it. So this winter, I'm going to solve my kayak problem. But in this video, you'll see I look like I'm 3 feet tall. I'm so low in the boat. But it was still fun. And like I didn't have the nerve. That's sort of the message of this video. I didn't have the nerve to boondock and take out my whole camping thing and kayak. But I did it at Soldier Lake. Now, when I got there, I was a day early, so there was people sort of on what looked like my camp spot. So I wasn't sure if it was available for that extra day, so I asked the guy if it was available. And we made friends, and he was a nice guy. He was my hair is really ratty looking. See, that's the thing when you're filming yourself, you can see what you look like and go. Anyway, so this guy who was an Iraq vet, he was really nice, really open-minded and cool. And so he was leaving and said he might come back the next day. And I had this giant campsite that I was only using a small portion of that faced the lake because I like the back doors open facing water so I can see it and hear it and feel it. And so he came back the next night and like he brought his whole setup and he fixed a fire and he sat there with the fire and like I guess he expected that it was going to be a date of sorts. But like I was in writing mode at this point. I'd finally arrived someplace I was comfortable. And I was really at this point only comfortable in places that I paid for. The free places always had this like thing, will I get stuck in the mud? Will somebody kick me out? You know, it was like this running thing with it. Hey, baby. So at night, I finally did go out at night and had a beer with him and talked a little bit. And he went on about these insane conspiracy theories about like it. I don't even know fully what it was, but it had to do with devils and weird configurations of beings trying to destroy us. And then it went back to George Bush and the Illuminati. These are not things I've studied or know much about. But he just went on and on. I was getting more and more like just sort of like uncomfortable. And so I kept saying, this is not a subject I want to hear about. I'm going to have nightmares. And I said it like 3 times and he just kept going, saying like, oh, okay, yeah, I get it. And then on and on. So the guy that was the host he would hear my voice because I guess I don't have a quiet voice. And he was on the verge of coming over and like straightening it out. But I finally just said, you know what? I'm going to bed. You're going to give me bad dreams. And I disappeared and he was gone in the morning. And so it was sad because he was a nice guy, but man, his beliefs were so off the wall. And it was okay that he like was a Trump voter, but like, don't take me to those bad places. So I spent 3 nights there. It was really nice. I had a good time. I'm a part of the ProMaster Forum. So I have a lot of friends that have vans that are in the ProMaster Forum. And one of them was in the area. So my next stop was 12-Mile Beach campsite. Now, both Soldier Lake and 12-Mile Beach, I had made well in advance because I knew that like when I first arrived, at the Upper Peninsula, I probably would need like a secure place to stay before I figured everything out. He came to 12-Mile Beach, my next campsite. Now, 12-Mile Beach was beautiful. Basically, Lake Superior is down here, and then there's these giant dunes that just go up, 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 and then it flattens out, and then your campsites are way up there, hidden by trees. So if you like that sort of tree solitude, you'd love it. But I had Starlink. I needed Starlink so that I could get cell service to call my sister, make sure she was fine. There's 2 sisters, by the way. I'm calling the nice one, not the creepy one. And I needed to be able to talk to my lawyer, and I needed to be able to finish this stupid video. It isn't stupid. I love doing it, and it was really cool. But I needed to finish the video for my high school reunion, and I needed to, like, when I'm writing, I Google a lot of stuff. I Google spellings. I Google meanings of words. I Google thesaurus for more words. If I'm in a subject I don't know something about, I Google the subject. So it's like I'm always Googling, researching as you go. And I had Starlink would not work. I had Starlink like running through all like my split cable through the walls. I ran it through there, so it went straight to plug into my 12-volt thing. I was all set up, but when I got there, it didn't work in the van. I needed to put it outside the van, and so I ended up like I have a 30-meter cable that came with Starlink, but it hooks up to AC, and it has the AC, like that little prong single hole thing, kind of a adapter end. But I ended up buying from Amazon something that the hole will go into, and then it's got the USB-C that'll go into the adapter. So I'm now set up for long distance need of putting Starlink far away to not have obstacles, because it works great. But if you've got obstacles in the way of it reaching tower, it's not going to happen. So anyway, so my friend came by, and we had a nice time, and we decided that we would where was I going to go from 12-Mile Beach? I had nothing. I had my bad experiences with boondocking. He said he could find us a place in the woods somewhere, and I basically said, look, I'm really not fond of like just parking in some overgrown, awful area because it's free. And so I ended up booking us 3 nights at a campsite. When you get it on reservation.gov, which is, I have a senior pass because I'm old. So all the campgrounds are 50% off. So it was like $15 a night, and there were no spots available. It was all first come, first serve. So I got my first experience with first come, first serve. And I was thinking wrong, and he was thinking right, because he's done this a million times. I was thinking that, if you got there early and the people left early, you could just take the spot. But it's a little more complicated because the people have to leave by checkout time, or else they have to pay for the next night. So checkout time is the time when people mostly leave. So we got in there sort of a cross between his idea and my idea, which was like a half hour before checkout time. And we found a great spot, and we stayed there, and it was big enough for 2 vans, and he had stuff to do during the day, and I had writing to do during the day. So we were all happy at Bay Furnace. So 9 and 10 are the best sites in this campground. They have a view of the lake. I mean, it's all like above the lake, but still they have this beautiful breeze, this beautiful sound of waves crashing. It's the best. Ours is nice though. I like ours. If you can't be in one of those 2, ours is just as good. And I roamed the beach a little bit. Tonight is our last night. Then I'm going down to, it was a nice big site. It was perfect. We're going to have bratwurst tonight. We built a fire. He has, there's a fly walking across the top of my iPhone. Oh well. It's just been really fun. And I've been working too. So he goes off and does his thing in the day. I do my thing in the day. And then we hang out a little bit. So tonight we're having bratwurst for dinner. And then tomorrow we leave for Lymon Lake. He might spend a night there, and then he's going back to Kentucky. I'm staying there 3 nights, and then it's all up in the air. It was a good campsite experience, but not a great campsite, because like the great campsites are the ones that were in Pennsylvania. where you're literally right on a gorgeous lake, and you can put your gazebo there, and you can put your blow up your kayak and go out in the water and drive around on your bike. I mean, it's like a whole wonderful experience. But can you do that with boondocking is my question. The road to get there was really long, and it was like a little cobblestone road where it was total dust behind you as you were going. So, I mean, it's just like, if you don't know where you're going and you get freaked out easily, you just are like, oh, am I ever going to get there? Where is this leading to? All those kinds of questions pop into your brain because you let them pop into your brain, or I let them. So we end up, then there's a sign that says, for spot 1, go. Like there's a private road just for our spot. So we took that, and you get there, and it was, again, a really generous sized camp spot, covered with trees, which was okay. I, by now, had stopped using Starlink because I used up all of my 50 gigabytes in like a couple of hours moving the files from, I had 26 gigabytes of pictures from my high school reunion video, and they were sitting in the cloud. And I was finding it really difficult to get them out of the cloud because each picture took like time to unload, and it just was becoming untenable for making a video where you have to see a lot, you have to work fast. So I decided I'd move them all over to a hard drive, and that way I could access them easily. But it took all that was left of my Starlink, so I had no Starlink. And then Starlink changed their policy. You didn't go on pause. You went on this like very low frequency or something, and it's $5 a month, and you can make phone calls, and if your Starlink is not obstructed, you can make phone calls. You can like Google a little bit if you need it. It's the stuff that you could do. It was perfect. So I figured I would test that and see how it worked before I got west, where I assumed I'd have no coverage and need Starlink again. But anyway, so my friend left after one day, and he was heading home. And I stayed there, and I cooked made a big fire out of all the extra firewood he left, and I cooked pasta on the fire. We'll see if the water boils, the pasta will cook. Okay, the water is boiling, so here we go. Nice. I am off to the west. First stop near Duluth, and then on to Lake Audubon. Yay! I was just so burned out on the Upper Peninsula and lakes and weather and not succeeding at boondocking, which was like the whole goal of this trip. So I decided just to head west, and I just headed west with 1 day of 12-hour driving. I wasn't even gonna make it like a journey. I was just like, screw this, I'm getting to Lake Audubon. Although I don't remember clearly, I think I stopped someplace right off of the road to sleep so that I would arrive at Lake Audubon when it was light out, because you can't arrive at these places when it's dark and you don't know where you're going and you don't know what the roads are like. I mean, that's like sudden death. Anyway, thank you for watching. I am changing from the previous format of 30 videos in 30 days and doing 3 videos a week that I put more time into. Thank you. Bye.